Western media outlets have claimed another Bucha has been uncovered near Mariupol, according to reports based on satellite images provided by a US company. This comes as a Kiev official said that up to 9,000 Mariupol civilians were buried in the nearby village of Mangush. RT's Maria Finoshna reports.
Just a day after Russia's defense minister reported that Mariupol is now under total control of the Russian army, with signs of normality, life and safety finally coming back to the city, totally out of the blue, the city's mayor claims all of a sudden that Russians have been burying civilians in thousands in the village of Mangush outside Mariupol to hide, his words, their barbaric war crimes. He even describes that they have been using trucks to collect dead corpses on the streets and dump them into freshly dug trenches. There is no reaction so far from Russia's defense ministry. We're still waiting for it. But the mayor has been quick to describe it as genocide. Let's take a listen.
The biggest war crime of the 21st century was committed in Mariupol. This is the new Babi Yar. Now Putin is exterminating Ukrainians. He has already killed tens of thousands of civilians in Mariupol. And this requires a strong reaction from the entire civilized world. Everything must be done to stop this genocide.
There are still many questions in this story. First, the mayor claims that the Russians have been doing it the whole April. The question is why it is only now that he decided to make the story public if he was aware all this time about that. Next, he talks about civilians. How did he make this conclusion? Did he visit the site? This is very unlikely because it's been everywhere in the news that the mayor left Mariupol at the end of March because there was no connection there. Shortly after the mayor's claims, the U.S. Maxar technology company released satellite images apparently showing the same site that the mayor talked about, and they claim that there are graves there on these pictures. But if you look at these images, it's really hard to say what you can see there. Like, I mean, they are a little bit blurred, and it's really hard to make any conclusion based on this particular picture. So we have that, we have the mayor's words, and that's it. But the mainstream media have been really quick to pick it up and to spread these claims and to quote genocide, war crimes and other like strong words. And that indeed reminds us about another media story around the Ukrainian town of Bucha. And I call it media because there was a lot of media attention involved in that story, while little facts and little evidence from the ground. To remind you, days after the Russian army left the town of Bucha, north of Kiev, videos started emerging, apparently showing dead bodies lying on the street. And Kiev used these videos as the evidence. So they presented it as the evidence of mass killings of civilians and war crimes committed by the Russian army. Russia's defense ministry and official Moscow and even Vladimir Putin came out to describe it as a fake and to deny all the allegations. And now we do not hear about Bucha at all anymore in any news. But we still continue receiving evidence that some tried actually to play dirty to push accusations of atrocities in Bucha on to Moscow. Let's now listen to one of the Ukrainian refugees. He is originally from Kiev, but now he's in Europe. And this is his testimony.
First, one man came up to me, then another joined him. They asked where I was coming from and if I was a refugee. I replied that I was from Kiev. They said they had offers regarding Germany, Switzerland, Spain and so on, that I could go there and I would have everything there. They said they would give me a password, which I would show to the police, and they would take me to a refugee camp. They would then have to question me there. I asked what I was supposed to tell the police. They told me to say that I'm from Bucha, not Kiev. They wanted me to say that fascists, Russians, came to Bucha and started bombing and killing civilians, shooting, raping and robbing. I would need to confirm this, and they would record it on video.
Maxar company is the same company whose satellite images, again, were involved in Bucha story. But they were Turkish investigators later. They released a huge research on that, and they proved that some of these pictures were false. So we know that this company is maintained by Pentagon, so maybe this company has some interest in this story. Let's take a listen.
Maxar enables the U.S. Department of Defense and its allies to better monitor, understand and respond to global events, deter threats and ensure global security. Together, the many elements of Maxar can help the DoD meet its far-reaching modernization goals, maintain decision advantage, and rapidly identify and predict change.
So what we need here is proper independent investigation, just like in the story of Bucha. But again, unfortunately, we only hear about accusations and actually claims that they were crimes and they were committed by Russians, as a matter of fact.
And while some media outlets backed Kiev in accusing Russia of genocide, the UN has stopped short of supporting those claims, saying such patterns have not been documented.
A lot of these legal qualifications, crimes against humanity and genocide, at the end of the day would be for a court of law to determine. But, no, we have not documented patterns that could amount to genocide.